Oh, this Synosis. We're doing one more recording here of the Rust challenge, but I'm uncertain though if we're going to be able to finish the full recording or if we have enough of the so improves heal item power. The main problem though with the Ankh of Life is that potions, for example, instead of healing, what is it, 50, it heals for they heal for 50 right normally, but they don't even gain double. Right, if I remember correctly, it's not that it heals for 100. I think it heals for 80 or something. I think it is, which yes is still pretty decent. And then you might think that but it affects high potions. No, it does not affect high potions because that's the main problem is that high potions are programmed to heal you for half. Yeah, but I can actually do this up now here. Put up a sun scheme because there's no way we're going to get more sun now, basically. But yeah. But it's like the thing is always that I always thought that Ankh of Life, because it has a cause, that it should have improved all the healing items. So for example, like Pot Rose, she's ranked for all the healing stuff, right? But that's not how it works, because it improves heal item power. And you might heal item, but because the food is not healing items, they do heal you. But for example, restores some HP use on the potion, for example, so it does affect potions. But for example, Mana Prisms restores all mana. If there would of course been weaker versions of Mana Prism, then I'm guessing that would have counted, but it says specifically right. Improves each item. So, like MP does not count as being actual health restoration and stuff which is a bit odd, in my opinion. So yeah. So I don't know if we're even going to be able to make it a full like an hour recording this last part, and stuff so yeah. But yeah, so you can get the Mystic Pendant that way, of course, and the Mystic Pendant is good because of the MP generation rate, and yeah. But I also thought the Ankh was disappointing. Now it is of course very good if you have like a lot of potions and stuff because you can just get more value out of the potions and stuff but yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of items, of course, that the Pharaoh can use. The Pharaoh can use your smart potions. It can use resist thunder. It can use the uncurse. It can use the potion. It can use the anti-venom. It can also use the life weapon, of course, and unpet fire, which only the familiar can use, of course, obviously. It can use the resist fire. It can use like poison. It can use mana prism for you and stuff but I feel like what's the point of leveling it, because generally speaking you do gain like a lot of the familiars gain things once it reaches level 50 basically and stuff but I don't know if it's always at level 50 where it gains the boost, because it's at level 50 when the sword familiar becomes so you can use it as an actual item and stuff or as an actual weapon and stuff And here we get that card. So now it kind of makes sense, right? Right, and we didn't even fully explore there on the map, right, and stuff because yeah. So yes, we are going to get a lot of the stuff on the map and stuff because it's just going to be useful for us, to get a lot of kills and stuff Yeah, keep going. And that's a way to get down fast, of course, because you just miss through the elevator. Because I feel like that after you do that thing and you get the roof item there, or the ceiling item basically in the Colosseum, right? Because at that point it makes sense that you have the bat and stuff and you have the gravity amp or whatever, right? And here you can also get the cross, of course, which is very nice as well, But it's not all the sub-weapons, right? See, that's the thing, right? In the randomizer, they changed this because, of course, you can see like, oh, the lightning thing is here, the bounce star thing is here, the cross is here, the book is here, the axe is here, but there is no knife here. There is no knife. There is no knife. There is no ashes there, like the saint hand and stuff that. There is no clock either. Stuff that. So that's 3. Right, so axe, Bible, cross, that, and the Aguina, or whatever you call the lightning thing. So yeah, so the holy water is missing, holy water clock, the saint thing, and the knife. Yeah. Holy water, saint ashes, knife, and the clock. Right. Yeah, and that's all of them. Yeah. So there's 4 missing and stuff. That's right, you know. You know, because in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that it's way more than just 5 in the actual randomized and stuff. That there are way more than 5 of them for the room. So I forgot if they extended the room then or something like that. You know, slightly. You know, maybe they didn't. I don't know. We're going back to the Going back to the very, very start. Because we're grabbing more stuff. Now, of course, we can also do this now. Because we didn't do it before. This is, of course, jump you can make from up there. I believe there is a jump that you can make, but you could also, for example, if you would land here, for example, and you turn into wolf, and then with the wolf charge there from the skill of wolf there, from the skill of wolf, right? Yeah. Special move is wolf. It doesn't like let you run fast or anything, but you can use it to reach certain places with the wolf, of course. Pork. Pork. Pat. Cocoon. And then we did that with both of them, so now this should open up. Yeah. Ripe apple and Yule sword, hell yeah. Of course, yes, you could have checked this like way earlier, guessing here. You can see that, oh, it's locked. And that's another place that I believe you can somehow get past with the whole cow thing. So that was just basically, that's the leather shield combined with the shield rod. You know what's gonna happen right now? Right, that if we kill the Owl Knight now, it's going to drop a medal. After we've gotten the 2 medals and stuff that, right? You know, that's usually how things are. You know, let's see if we're correct. Oh, if you're close enough to him, I really got scared here. Thought that was going to be the thing. I know that one of these is the cross and one of them is the coin bag right now. Is this where the cross is, or is this coin bag used? That's the coin bag. But then I always thought that this was supposed to open instead with doing something with this statue here and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's a statue and it's meant to be something else and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. And that's a power wolf. This is where the cross is, by the way. I cannot be a dumbass and actually get up to it. Go, that's the cross. Overboard? Overboard. Abort in the night. Abort in the night. And here we meet the Gurkha, which is the missing brother, of course, from the thing. And all of them, of course, fairly tanky. Oh, wow, I didn't know you could get up here. Let me be more careful on the next guy, though. Because it is the blade guy. Let's level up because usually they're pretty high level. And that doesn't do damage to the whole him throwing the sword thing, which I think they wanted to program in, but they probably never did. Because they probably couldn't figure out how, or whatever, because yeah. And here, of course, we get a really big armor upgrade if I will allow it, but I don't know if I will allow the armor yet, stuff that here. So I think it's going to be too much of a big jump here in terms of armor, if I remember correctly. Because this, of course, is the Holy Mail, and this is what the knife is right here. Holy Mail. Yeah, because it's like a 5 upgrade in armor. And actually, let's just put that on. And then you see how much damage it is. Because if we take 2 little damage from certain upcoming things, then I won't allow it and stuff. That's right. It totally depends on how much damage you take. So what's on? Okay, so. So more damage now instead. Him kicking us does more damage. The damage stopped. If this weapon didn't fail, then it would be fine. If this would have been dark, so they would have instead programmed him to throw the thing and then it would insta-kill him. No, I'm not really about that. This guy does a lot more damage than the other guy. So you want to make sure that he walks into so you only take 4 damage instead of taking the massive 10 damage. I think we can use still win this even if we use Tactics Packages here. It wasn't worth it at all. Okay, can we get the potion please now? Let's see, it's fair, I feel like, because we did get quite a bit of XP from that. Now, while there is a Holy Mail inside here, is questionable. Now you can say that, of course, it's something that our previous Belmont has left behind, Because, of course, a Belmont wouldn't have to technically wear like a Holy Mail, right, in order to take like reduced holy damage. They should just have that. Just by default, I feel like, Right, and now with all that done, do we fight all rocks? Yeah, because, right, or I mean, none of the all locks yet. We fight another boss first. Even though this will take us to the this takes us to start wall, which is perfect. You could of course just go to Castle Keep and go from there. Stuff that instead of having to go the long way around. And of course that guy doesn't turn into the Spectral Sword guy, of course. You see. I think we don't need to see it. And we get fire on the bat. Oh, go to resist dark. That's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, actually we want to do this so we can get a pentagram and the merge missile. We get the Shaman Shield, the Bekatova, and the Ice Mail. The Ice Mail is worse, right? Yeah, 17, but it's actually better than the Silver Plate, so I will allow this now over the Holy Mail. Because it is still like 3, 15, 16, 17, yeah, 2 better than the Silver Plate. Skull Lord. Basically, that's what the Ghost Familiar is actually supposed to be actually part of the whole like Skull Lord family and stuff that, you know. Come on down, your boy. Yeah, we're not gonna open the path now, by the way. Actually, just in case, let's just put on the Mirror Mail here. Because, you know. Oops, they do a lot of damage though. Yeah, that's not... We got hit by that there instead. Other transformation actually saved us there. It actually did drop the stone thing there. Ah! Was very close there. We dodged so much damage there. So let's put on the Holy Mail so we can tank a little bit better here. I just don't want to end up taking too much damage here from the Flea Man. I think we're gonna land a lot of hits on him though. Okay, fine. I will get it for everything there. Your body do double kill. Mini, 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 mini. Get it into it at least. What the heck? That fucking hitbox when it swings. That's absolutely insane. What lost though? Gain the money. So does this guy has less health now? He still have the same regular health as normal. We get, is it healing mail? First guess, yeah, it's the healing mail. It's pretty crap. It has one more armor though than the actual Mirror Craze has. And the thing is, if you're willing to, for example, I believe that you can use this. Yeah. You can use walk against the ball. So if you wanted, like, if you have a lot of health to heal up, you can use this, If you just want to, if you just have a bunch of health, you want to heal up, stuff that you can use to leave yourself running in the corner like that, stuff that, right? There are a few places in the game where you can use run safely and stuff that into something and stuff that, and you should like refill all your health and stuff that, right? Yeah, sure, it will take a long time, Now, of course, it's something like, for example, if Onk of Life could like affect the healing mail, for example, so that like healing mail heal for like 2 instead per tick, then like that would be an absolute huge increase. Because you're like, that means like, for example, because it, it's a pretty big delay to its healing, of course, or like it doesn't take super often, right? And I promise that we're dealing 12 damage to it. Okay, we can quit for 35 at least. And we can keep it in the corner here, of course, as long as he doesn't fail. Hope we can get lucky here again and not get too many fail swings here. I mean, the fight could take a long time though. Because I think Karasaman has 800 health. That wasn't too bad at all. I think maybe it's only 400 years. Yeah, so that was pretty decent. Så läste det med Karasaman to comment an hour later, but we did it for a lot. So there's 27 things in total, but not everything is a boss, of course, technically. Technically, if you think about it, like the Dracula is an action boss fight and stuff, that's it. And now, you have access to the elevator. And this, of course, looks really, really weird to leave a bunch of those not lit up, and stuff like that, Okay. And of course, we will get the Falchion. The Falchion, if you compare it to the Red Rust, is of course 34. 38 of course is on the Bekatova. So there we have, but 34 on the Falchion. And 36 on the Broadsword. So yeah, but of course, if you miss the Blacksword as a secret, which is just almost impossible to miss, because I feel that you Wallace is so suspect, and stuff like that. And there are just a few locations in this that is just like people are playing any Castlevania people, so especially since the weapon swings aren't too slow if you're using something like the short sword, it just feels like in certain room because you can kind of think about on the map like okay, like where are the spaces and stuff like that, But that's not always true, right? Because there's a lot of like even when the lab map is fully explored, there's still a lot of space left on the map that they could have like added rooms to, and stuff like that. So yeah, And I forgot if how much of the actual disk space they took up, and stuff like that, the game and stuff like that. So So I'll get the life in the heart max up, of course, and everything. Life in the heart max up. And the ghost card. And that should hopefully now fill in once we exit the room. Yeah. It's not filled in yet. I'm guessing it's going to be once we... Yeah, now it's filled in. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? That it has to do with you reaching often certain squares before it fills in. But that's something that happened in the original too as well, right? And stuff like that. And it's often that you need to know the locations you need to reach before it fills in sometimes, That makes sense, right? That this is supposed to be the whole storage room or whatever. This is where like keep his food, We get the platinum mail here. Yeah, the platinum mail I'm gonna allow. Because the platinum mail is actually better than the silver plate. And also better than the silver plate and better than the ice mail. And it's slightly worse than the whole mail. I always felt that the platinum was meant to be the black, but they used the platinum mail to create like the holy mail or whatever, right? Because But I always thought that they were supposed to be somewhere where you got certain armor pieces that you don't get, of course, obviously. So yeah. Of course, also one will here. Let's go and do the thing here as well. Not with statues. I think it's this one, like the fully broken one here. Basically, it's like the most broken one. I think it's straight up from this one. But I would like to check even when all of them are dead. Yeah, it's straight up from this guy here. As long as we keep him straight here, yeah, you can see it's always straight up from that, the most broken guy. And this was always weird as well here. For example, if you look here, like this is 13, which is the same strength as the healing mail. So why is ice mail so much stronger? Like why is this only 13 for the fire mail? And then the ice mail is that because it's on fire, so you like hurting yourself. Or is it because this armor has melted a bit? But yeah, you can see it how it's. This is the only statue that is completely filled right with the whole sword and the shield thing. And then this is broken. Now this one is also completely full. This one is a little bit broken. This one is completely full. This one is completely full but facing the other way. This one is a little bit broken. This one is completely full. This one is also this one is the most broken. But is that to indicate something? Yeah, that's actually to indicate. Yeah, it's a specific line where the clock tower is. Where that whole edge of it is. It's actually pretty interesting. I also that this guy up here, this little guy to the left here, is supposed to be like a mini death. Something, you know. It's very interesting, of course. Yeah, well, now I have Form of Mist as well. Yeah, right. Form of Mist. And now technically this is the fastest now. Okay. Yeah, we have time to do this. Of course, now we have a lot of the relics, as you can see here, and stuff like that. We're still missing, of course, we're missing the regular demon familiar, and then we have all the familiars. And then, right, this is going to be the last, well, not really the last relic. There's 2 more relics left in the first castle. It's the radar, the echo bat, and the radar bat. Can't call you Alfred. I have to use the bat radar. The bat radar. I have to locate trackers. It stands. Weed. And if you think about it, right, that this is, you could technically say that this is Alrock's music choice and stuff that, right? Because, you know, this whole Alrock's owns this entire area and stuff that. So you can technically say that it's Alrock's that owns the Colosseum and stuff that, because the Colosseum is right next to the thing, you know, and stuff that. So, you know. And you can, of course, just go through this. But you can just be nice to him, of course, and you sit down in his chair, you know, if you want to. Like, you know, he's like, he does not gesture to you, you know, and you're like, okay, like. And he seems like, I'm just gonna attack you now. And I forgot how it's split between the 2 forms here in terms of his health, you know, and stuff like that. Because I believe, or right, I forgot if both of the forms have like, they're separate, like the enemy thing, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And the thing that I think that these are supposed to be like, that the skulls are supposed to be his ghost familiar, basically. And then like one of the things are bats, basically, which I also is meant to be like a familiar and stuff like that, right? So he's actually more about like a summoner than any, you know. Because this one has the special music, of course, that a few bosses have, you know. Just wait a bit. We can be more patient about this to take less hits if we want to. But yeah, we do have an attack potion we could use, of course. Right, we do have an attack potion, right? Yeah. Actually, let's put medicine here first. So we have resist under, we have small potion, we have 3 potions, we have 1 attack potion. We do have resist fire also, but we could slap on 5 mail if necessary. But it depends on how much damage his fire actually does once he starts using the fire. I'm actually waiting to use my art thing, by the way. But I believe, right, that the intelligence does affect your actual damage from the thing. Right, we did have a small potion, right? Yeah, we do have one small potion. We need to get into his second form first, of course. Okay, so small potion used. Right, there's the red dust. Okay, good. You could also, as I said, use resist fire here if you really, really want to. Okay, we still only take 1 damage from the fire. That's good because because of armor so high. That one is doing 16 though. So that fire is not too bad. We have 0 hearts here. We could of course dodge with the thing, by the way, if we want to. Just in case, use that on the fairy card, because the fairy card is what we have had someone before, right? No. It's the fairy card. I'm gonna try and use the poison time here though. I'm gonna leave it up to her if she's gonna use the resist fire on me or not. You see, you use potion and she says what she's actually using on you. But she doesn't do in the original, if I remember correctly. I know that she has certain voice lines for certain things, you know. We don't have any healing left, right? Oh, we do have a life apple though. I'm actually so low. I actually wanted to see her actually use the fire resist fire. So I'm not gonna look like a complete dumbass, you know. Okay, can you please use resist fire, please? Okay, you already have protection from fire, there we go, good. Can we get rid of the hands as well, maybe? I don't know. He should be very close from dying though when he does that attack though. Nice. Went through a lot of healing items though, and she didn't even get a level from that though. But I think that was her first kill, right? So 23 XP. Maybe that was the first kill. Yeah, that's all locks. The Vicarous Mon defeated all locks. And now we have Kerberos left, and we have Grand Talon or / Legion. But he wasn't called Legion yet at this point, so you know. We're gonna take over back. So now, right, you can shoot with the battle course, obviously. And then if you use the bat familiar, then the higher your bat familiar, the more bats you can have with flying around as bats, you know. It's pretty funny. Actually, technically, one more bosses left than that. Because, I mean, theoretically, we could use the library car right now. Right, but we're not too far away from the place we need to go to. Maybe it was a waste that we allowed her to use the thing there. Here's the thing that we could have done this a bunch of times to just dodge a bunch of attacks, you know, if I really would have wanted to, you know, and stuff like that, you know. I allowed myself to take a bunch of damage there on purpose and stuff like that, rather to just to make the fight a little bit more exciting, you know, and stuff like that, but yeah. I have to say that level 24 and still be first casted is still insane, no. Not really, that, you know. Yeah, this guy still did quite a decent amount of damage, I feel like. And you just walk into it, because the hitbox doesn't stop immediately until it's come on. I'm just gonna be painting and wait instead. Because I think he's stuck in that there, yeah. I believe there's a mod bag over here. But then I always thought that there should have been something, because there is enough room here for this to have been something here and stuff that, you know. Because why is there a secret on that specific wall, and it's very similar with how it looks and stuff that, right? Because, yeah. You know, because it would have made sense if there would have been something up there as well as a corridor, because this fits on the maps and everything, you know, and stuff that, you know. And now we started when it feels like now we are supposed to go through, you know, the caverns and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, the only reason why it was open there was just because of the fact that we came from that way, because it doesn't lock you from the other side basically, because that would have been dumb, you know. So now it's finally time for the caverns. The question is, what would the third castle have been? Would it still have been like a reverse? Or would it have been normal, right, with I don't know if there were ever rumors on what it was supposed to be or whatever, right? Because I'm pretty certain they were thinking about a third castle or whatever, right? But they didn't have enough room or didn't have enough time or whatever, right? Because, you know. Do you have enough time? Yes. We should probably have enough time to do the succubus fight. But you can do this thing here, for example, you can do this, just boink and then, you know, you get over here. But the thing is, to get to the wolf, you're still going to have the thing, you know, and stuff like that. Of course, we got the claymore. And the drums. Doom, 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 doom. Why do you get that spell so easy when you're trying to cast Soul Steal? Now we got it, but now we only had one of them on screen. Moonstone is of course a big deal, because Moonstone is going to be better and it's going to be a huge upgrade because of the strength, constitution, intelligence, luck you get. And like, yeah, you get just more armor. But so now we have a lot more armor. And we have a lot more attack. The red rust with the Moonstone. We do have only one attack potion though. And then of course we can use the fairy card on bosses, you know, and stuff that, just because, you know, the fairy can keep you a lot safer, you know, and stuff like that, but yeah. But the potion heal isn't gonna be good enough. If a boss do too much damage, then the healing from the potion doesn't even matter. And stuff that, unless of course you're using the healing honk and stuff like that, but yeah. Nightmare. You broke spree on my spell, I like that. So we're getting 27 damage. But all of them do the attack, by the way, it's not just the correct one that does it. I forgot what was if there was a way to tell like the difference and stuff that, you know. That's a rare, like the Ross pedal attack or whatever you call it. Or maybe it's just that she moves over a certain amount of spaces. Yeah. Huh? So she moved one to the left there, basically, is what she did there. That wasn't too bad, though. We did the first of the gold inscription with clock. But I think that that's actually supposed to be a multi-hint, by the way, as well, because, you know, like, oh, inscription wear clock, that makes you think that, oh, okay, you're supposed to wear a clock and stuff that, and that's supposed to be actually the clue in the clock room that, oh, you use the clock in the clock room, and that's how you find out the card set, you know, and stuff that, you know. And then we should have enough time to do that boss as well. I technically believe actually that boss's attack, a lot of its attack actually counts as being ice. Well, technically there is like a water element, I believe. So we get to find the comeback there. We'll save here. And then we fight the Skilla worm, and then we fight Skilla herself. Like, there is a lot more relics. Like I just kept forgetting, like the fact that we can get the snorkel, we can get the other thing. But we need to open up this, of course. But you can open this just with the dive kick here. It's actually good that this sword can crit fairly hard and stuff. That is important. And I believe this is what is it? Is it resist ice actually? Yeah, the purple one is specifically resist ice. And this is what a healing item is, yes. Pot roast. Let's just use Iceman here for fun because I believe that the Iceman will actually work here. I do think we do massive damage on this boss actually with the lightning weapon here. Especially if we would have had more MP. And that's dead. Because he is water, so you know, lightning. That's actually a good use for the sub-weapon, by the way, if you want to know a good place to actually use the sub-weapon. Because you saw that was fairly quick. Yeah, sure, the boss is not particularly hard or anything. Then we get the Cruiser Cloak. But you can see it's actually still the same armor as the... Actually, the Blood Cloak is actually weak enough for some reason than the Elven Cloak. Now the Elven Cloak is one less armor than it. But yeah, the Elven Cloak and the Crystal Cloak is the same. And I think that had to do with that you reached enough Constitution to the point to where now the Blood Cloak is weaker, because the Blood Cloak and the Elven Cloak before, right, had the same defense. You know, there was always the thing, right, that so 1920 and then both of these had 21 and stuff that before. Both of them were at 20, but now when we have enough Constitution, it's, you know, and this of course is just stronger by one Constitution than the Elven Cloak. You know, so yeah. So that's 11 plus Constitution. And yeah, and it has a lot to do with the Moonstone there. Stuff that, yeah, now we get the coolest looking cloak in the game. Because it's the only one with this effect, and this was just so cool looking and stuff that the whole, like, the way it shimmers and stuff that, you know, and it's just, you know, like, yeah, that's just... And of course, yes, it also worked on the back. You know, stuff that's, yeah. And here we got the scimitar. And the thing is, if you're supposed to get it so late, you know, the scimitar has to be good. You know, of course, the... Where did it go? It has 35. Yeah, which is weird because, yeah, it's weaker than Bosworth, it's weaker than Bekatova. 33 is on the Gladius. So then you think that, oh, because, you know, it's 35, which is just slightly stronger than the Gladius, then you're meant to go here basically after you get the open. But then it makes no sense because then the Crystal Cloak is just way better than the Blood Cloak is. Stop that. You might say, oh, but the Crystal Cloak is behind the boss. The Blood Cloak is not behind the boss, which is true, of course. Yeah, which also made it completely unfair if someone decides to go here early. For example, like that you can just get the Crystal Cloak very early and stuff like that too. That's still counted as a boss room, for example. That's why it was a long loading time there, you know, stuff like that too. Yeah, defeat the Skilla there. They don't separate the Skilla worm. It's normally technically the skill of worm is actually the own boss in itself and stuff that kinda was weird, but yeah. So that's gonna do it for the challenge so far, at least. So what we have left to do now, before we stop the call, by the way, we have left to, so let's listen to some music. What we have left now to do, of course, is go to the cave, caverns here, and activate, but we also get the Herald Shield activator thing that activates the Donkey Kong or the skeleton ape near the bridge. So allows us, of course, to get into the catacombs or the underground mines area, get find Kerberos. But first, we will go to the end, of course, of all of this, which leads us back to the entrance, where we can get the health max up and that shortcut. We can get the merman statue, and then with the merman statue, we can go back here and go down below here. And stuff that where the skill of us there, where we open up the ice pack there. And that can get us the snorkel, the holy snorkel, which makes us take no damage from being submerged in water. And then once we do that, of course, we will go into the underground mines. We will find Kerberos or Cerberus. And then, of course, after that, after the Kerberos fight, we will use the End Demon card because we don't have the regular demon card yet. We will use the End Demon card, and then we will be able to get the Ring of Ares on the other side. Switch and set that because there's a switch there that you can hit, or a button, or a switch. You can call it whatever because it could switch on or off or whatever. Yeah. But you get that, for example, and getting that, of course, is great. We will, of course, also need to go up there in the place inside there and stuff that will do that, so we can get down and what is it, like health max up or a ring somewhere. Whatever again. And of course, once we've done all that, of course, we get down into the catacombs. With the Ring of Ares, of course, I will allow the Ring of Ares to be used, but the Ring of Ares is, of course, a big risk. Because Ring of Ares will boost our DPS a lot. We'll head with the Bread Brass, but we are risking ourselves to take a lot of damage because you gain like a lot of strength. You get very, very strong attack, but you get very weak defense with it and stuff that, and it can be a risk to use and stuff there. But if a weapon is really weak, then it can be really good. But that would be interesting, of course. Because yes, we're doing it slowly, right, and you can make the red cross on right. But the fact right that so then we could have used it down, for example, if I wanted to use I could have used that, save that money. Just got the diamond plate immediately, and the diamond plate would have been like even better than the holy men and stuff in terms of defense. For example, then we could have used, if I would have we could use save that money, or use that for the Joseph Cloak early on. And then the Joseph Cloak is even better than the Royal Cloak. The Joseph Cloak is the best cloak in the game. As it costs 30,000, but 30,000 is hardly anything. Considering a single damage for 20,000. So you can very, very easily get the Joseph Cloak. Or with the Joseph Cloak and diamond plate, that wouldn't be much of an issue. But also if you fully explore actually the first castle map, then even with Mark armor, you just haven't fully explored the first castle, like you can have a lot of defense with Mark armor at that point and stuff. The Mark armor, of course, is completely busted because if you can glitch out of the map and get a lot of extra squares, it's actually possible to get high enough percentage to where you can actually become immune to damage. Because of how the Mark armor works, because there's a certain point where certain attacks will stop even doing 1 damage, and there are certain attacks that will go down and will actually deal 0 damage. And at that point, I believe it doesn't even show up as 0 damage, because 0 damage means you use resist. So you won't even get like a knockback effect, it will use that resisting that shows up. I mean, for example, when you get the Heart of the Blood, for example, you can use basic walking to ectoplasms and they can do nothing to you. Same thing if you're wielding the fire shield, for example. You can use go to the fires as long as you have the fire shield. I believe you don't need to have the fire shield. You don't need to have it out. Even I believe you can just walk into the fires that they goblins in the mines, for example. in the catacombs as well. So, I hope you all enjoy this. See you all next time.